Ever walk into a remodeled home and still feel like something is off? I've seen this happen in updates, even expensive ones. It's usually not the layout. It's the finishes that look great on day one, then turn into daily annoyances like streaks, scratches, and water spots. Today we're counting down 10 finishes you should never use, plus the smarter swaps that keep your home looking expensive longer. Stay for number 1, because it's the finish that quietly ruins everything over time. Starting with number 10, high gloss finishes in a whole room. This is the one that sells itself in the store. Shiny floors, glossy tile, polished counters, even lacquer-style cabinets. Everything reflects light, so the space looks brighter, bigger, and more finished. On day one, it can look like a brand new model home. Then you actually live in it. High-gloss surfaces highlight every bit of real life. Water spots, fingerprints, toothpaste mist, soap residue, streaks, and dust show up fast. Even after you clean, the room can still look messy because the shine catches marks from every angle. If you have hard water, it gets even worse. You start wiping the same areas over and over just to keep it looking presentable. On floors, high gloss can also be a safety issue. When water hits it, it can get slick in a hurry, especially near entryways, kitchens, and bathrooms. The smarter swap is a low sheen finish. Satin or soft matte still looks upscale, but it hides everyday life better. If you love a little shine, keep it controlled. Use gloss on one small feature like a backsplash, a mirror frame, or a single accent strip, not every surface in the room. Remember, your home should look clean even when you are not constantly cleaning it. Now, let's move to the one that looks fine on paper, then annoys you daily. At number 9, flat paint in high traffic areas. Flat paint has a certain charm. It can make a wall look soft and smooth, and it hides little bumps better than shinier finishes. In a quiet bedroom, it can be a nice choice. The problem starts when people use it in hallways, kitchens, stairways, and any space where hands, bags, shoes, and daily life are constantly brushing the walls. Flat paint marks easily. A light scuff from a shoulder or a suitcase can leave a streak that does not wipe off cleanly. Fingerprints around light switches show up fast, and when you try to touch it up, the new paint often flashes, meaning you can still see the patch from certain angles. So you either repaint more often than you planned, or you live with walls that never look fully fresh. It can also make cleaning stressful. You hesitate to wipe because you know a damp cloth can leave a shiny spot, or it can rub the pigment and make the area look lighter. Over time, the house starts to look worn in the very places you want to feel crisp and welcoming. A better choice is a washable mat or a low-sheen eggshell. You still get that calm, updated look, but it stands up to real use. For trim and doors, use a tougher enamel finish so it resists dents and wipes cleanly without drama. Quick question for you. Which wall in your home gets scuffed the fastest? The hallway, the kitchen, or the stairway? Now here's the finish that looks sharp, then starts showing every touch. At number 8, matte black finishes everywhere. Matte black can look sharp right away. A black faucet, black cabinet pulls, black light fixtures, even black door hardware. It gives that clean contrast that feels modern without trying too hard. The trouble is what happens after a few weeks of normal living. Matte black shows mineral spots, soap film, and fingerprints in a way people do not expect. In a kitchen, you touch the faucet constantly. In a bathroom, water dries on it. Instead of looking crisp, it can start looking dusty or chalky, even when it is clean. Some finishes also wear unevenly where hands touch the most, so the high-use spots can start looking slightly faded compared to the rest. There is another issue that sneaks up later. Replacing one piece is harder than it sounds. One brand's black can look warmer, another cooler, so a new handle or a new faucet can look slightly off next to what you already have. The better approach is to use black as an accent, not the whole plan. Pick one moment where it makes sense, like a mirror frame or a light fixture, then choose a more forgiving finish for daily use. Brushed nickel and chrome are easier to live with and they stay classic. If this was useful, subscribe. I'll keep showing you what to avoid and what actually holds up, so your next update doesn't turn into your next regret. And this one reads expensive at first glance. The upkeep is what people regret. Now for number 7, unsealed or high-maintenance natural stone in the wrong places. This one gets people because it looks expensive without even trying. Real stone has depth, movement, and that quiet luxury feeling. So it ends up on kitchen counters, bathroom vanities, shower walls, even floors. But a lot of natural stone is porous. That means it can soak up moisture, oils, and stains if it is not properly sealed and maintained. In kitchens, common spills can leave marks. In bathrooms, daily water and product residue can start changing the surface over time. Some stones can also react to acidic things like citrus, vinegar, or certain cleaners, leaving dull spots that do not wipe away. Then there is the upkeep. Sealing is not a one-time job. It is something you repeat, and if you skip it, the stone starts showing it. Many homeowners end up treating their counters like they are fragile, which is not what you want in a space you use every day. The smarter swap depends on what you love about the look. If you want that soft, natural style, choose porcelain slabs or quality quartz with a simpler pattern that does not try too hard. If you are set on stone, pick one known for durability and finish it in a lower sheen so it hides wear better. Also keep stone away from constant splash zones unless you are truly okay with maintenance. A good home should not require you to baby your surfaces to keep them looking nice. But have you ever loved a room in photos, then stepped into one in real life and thought, why does it feel smaller and darker than it should? That's number 6, the ultra-dark wall finish in a room that does not get strong natural light. In photos, it looks rich. Charcoal, deep navy, near black, especially in a soft matte. It feels calm and dramatic, like a designer chose it on purpose. But in practice, it can turn on you fast. Dark walls need great lighting to look expensive. Without it, the color can read flat, heavy, and slightly gloomy. Corners disappear, the room feels smaller, and matte dark paint has a quiet downside. It shows dust, hand marks, and scuffs more than people expect, especially near doors, switches, and hallways. Touch-ups can be tricky too. On dark colors, a patched area often catches light differently, so you end up repainting more wall than you planned. The smarter swap is not to avoid dark forever. Just use it with intention. Choose a slightly lighter deep tone, or keep the dark color on one feature wall where it has support from lighting. Add warm, layered light. A ceiling light alone usually is not enough. Lamps or sconces make the color look softer and more welcoming. Here is a simple test. If you only love the color at night under perfect lighting, it is not the right whole room finish. But the next finish is chosen to hide flaws, yet it creates a surface that is hard to clean and hard to fix. Number 5 is heavy texture on walls and ceilings. It gets sold as a practical choice. It hides uneven drywall, it goes up faster, and it can make a room look finished without extra labor. That is why you see thick orange peel, knockdown texture, and older popcorn ceilings in so many homes. The regret comes later. Texture traps dust. In kitchens, it can hold grease and cooking residue, especially near vents and upper cabinets. In bathrooms, steam and product mist can leave a faint film that makes the surface look tired. And once a textured wall gets bumped or scraped, repairs are rarely invisible. You patch it, paint it, and the spot still catches the light differently. Side lighting makes it worse. When sunlight hits from an angle, the wall can look busy, even if everything else is simple. The clean swap is smoother walls where it matters most. If you are renovating, aim for smooth finishes in main living areas and halls, and keep texture minimal if you need it for budget reasons. If you want character, a subtle plaster look feels intentional without looking dated. Next up is a bright, crisp finish that looks clean in photos, but can start looking dingy faster than you expect. Number 4 is bright white grout, especially on shower floors and high-traffic tile. When it is brand new, white grout looks fresh. It makes the tile feel crisp, it highlights patterns, and it gives that spa look people love. The problem is that grout is not a solid surface. It is full of tiny pores, and it sits lower than the tile. So it catches dirt, soap residue, and moisture faster than you expect. In a shower, it can start shifting color in the corners and along the drain. On a bathroom floor, it picks up everyday grime from shoes and feet. Even if you mop, it can still look dull because the grout lines hold on to stains that normal cleaning does not fully remove. That is why some bathrooms look a little tired even when everything is technically clean. The regret is the maintenance. People end up scrubbing grout lines like it is a weekend routine. And the more contrast you have, the more obvious every change becomes. The smarter swap is a grout color that is still light, but not pure white. Soft gray, warm beige, or a tone that matches the tile will look clean longer. If you want the tile to pop, choose contrast in a way that is easier to live with, like a border detail or a feature wall. So, do you want your tile to look bright on day one, or clean for years without constant scrubbing? Coming up, there is a finish that looks sleek and high-end, but it can make your cabinets look messy 5 minutes after you touch them. At number 3, high-gloss cabinets, especially in kitchens and bathrooms. On day one, they look sleek. The surface reflects light, the room feels brighter, and the cabinets can look more modern than a standard painted finish. This is why people love them in showrooms. The problem is that a glossy cabinet shows contact. Every fingerprint around a handle, every smudge from cooking, every small streak from wiping it down. Under certain lighting, you can see fine scratches and swirl marks that build up over time, especially on lower cabinets where people bump them with shoes, bags, or vacuum heads. And then there is the cleaning loop. With high gloss, you are not just cleaning. You are trying to clean in a way that does not leave streaks. Many people end up wiping the same door twice, then stepping back and still seeing marks when the light hits it. Another issue is how glare changes the look. In the wrong light, high gloss can make cabinets look less expensive because it reflects everything, including clutter, cords, and the busy parts of the room. Instead of a calm kitchen, you get a lot of visual noise. A better choice is a satin or low-sheen cabinet finish. You still get a refined look, but it hides fingerprints and minor wear far better. If you love the modern feel, choose simple slab doors and good hardware. That gives you the clean look without the constant polishing. We're down to the top two, and next is a popular shortcut that looks convincing at first glance. Number 2, cheap faux marble and overly busy printed surfaces, especially on counters, floors, and large wall areas. In a store sample or an online photo, the pattern can look convincing. You see the light veining the smooth surface and you think, this is basically the same look for less. The problem is scale and repetition. Many lower quality marble looks have veining that is too bold, too high contrast, or oddly placed. Then you install it and the pattern repeats in a way your eye catches instantly. Instead of looking like natural stone, it starts looking printed. Busy finishes also create another issue. They fight everything else in the room. Cabinets, paint, hardware, even your decor starts looking mismatched because the surface is doing too much. The better swap is to go quieter. If you want a stone look, choose a simpler pattern with softer movement and less contrast. If you want wood look floors, choose a finish with natural variation and a pattern that does not repeat obviously. And always bring a large sample home. Look at it in morning light and night light and view it from standing distance, not just up close. A finish should support the room, not demand attention. Now for the last one. And this is the mistake that does not just look off. It spreads, because once it starts failing, the whole house looks older. And finally, number 1 is low-quality high-gloss paint on trim and doors. This is one of the most common mistakes because it sounds logical. Trim gets touched, so people assume the shinier the paint, the better. Then they grab a cheap semi-gloss, skip the prep, and the job looks fine for a week. After that, the problem starts showing. High gloss on trim acts like a spotlight. It highlights every brush mark, every dent, every uneven seam in the wood, and every patch that was not sanded perfectly smooth. In bright daylight, it can make door frames look wavy. Under lamps at night, it can look even worse because the shine catches every flaw at an angle. It also chips and scuffs in a way that stands out. When the surface is shiny, a small nick does not blend in. It looks like damage, and if the paint quality is low, it can yellow over time, especially in areas without much sunlight. The fix is not to avoid trim paint. It is to choose the right product and finish. A high-quality enamel in satin or a soft semi-gloss looks polished, but it does not scream for attention. Trim should frame the room quietly. It should not be the first thing your eye notices. And that's the list. If your home already has one of these finishes, you're not stuck with it. Most swaps are simpler than they seem, and one smart change can lift the whole space fast. Which finish are you replacing first? And what home mistakes should I cover next? Tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching.